up, peeps? It's your girl, Dash, come back on Takes Plus. Our time, and this is movie review time, and this is for, as you can see, a Nosferatu, directed by Robert Eggers. Now, before I jump into my review, just gonna talk a little bit about just vampires in general. Mind you, this came out a couple weeks ago, so I'm a little late, but hey, not too late. I want to get this up because I so enjoyed this film. One of those ones that was really worth the wait since this wrapped actually in 2023, and also for the fact that I love this director and the work he's put out. So I feel like I had to just put my thoughts out there. And now, with that being said, in regards to the movie, since it's been out a couple of weeks, I don't feel like I'll be spoiling anything. I think most people have probably have seen it, I hope, or have watched people's thoughts, reviews, whatever, and all that. So I don't expect anything to be very negative in the comment section. So I won't have to worry about that. But if we do, I already know how I normally would handle that. But moving forward. Now, like I stated before I get into the review, just want to talk about knowing that Robert Eggers would be behind this film. I'm a fan of his work. I know a lot of people loved when he first came out. I want to say, for me, my taking notice of him when he did the movie The Witch from 2015, I definitely took more of an awareness when he did the movie The Lighthouse. I think came out 2019, and then I so enjoyed The Northman that came out in 2022. So just seeing how the movies, my love of his movies, he's progressing, and then of course a couple of years later, this one comes out. Now, being said, with vampire films, I love vampire films. I will say honestly, the first one, before I started checking back a little bit, that I started watching were films like, say, for instance, Bram Stoker's, Bram Stoker's Dracula, excuse me. Movies like Shadow of the Vampire, which I love, and then being that some particular person was casted in this film, William Dafoe, who was in that when that came out in 2000. Now, I did not initially see, I want to say Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror, which came out in 1992, until I'm going to say in my early 20s. I've only watched it once. Might have to go back and watch that again. I know that stars Max Schreck, plays Count Orlok. Now, I love it, and plus it's a black and white film, so definitely beautifully done. I like how over the years, just the way it's kind of, progressing, the way certain stories are told in regards to vampires. So, being that this was a labor of love for Robert Eggers to put this one out, wanted to see what his take would be on that. I know some individuals, feel a certain way when certain things are remade, and I am one of those people too. Being that I've enjoyed some of his previous work, I said, okay, let me hold my thoughts. Let me see the trailer, and then we'll decide from there if we really want to go see this. And mind you, like I stated, I did go out on Christmas Day, and I really don't like leaving the house during the holidays. But this was one of the ones after I saw the trailer, I just had to see. I like how they kept the overall look of Count Orlok hidden, played by Bill Skarsgård. And then, of course, seeing other cast members in the trailer, like Lily Rose Depp plays Ellen. So I was really looking forward to seeing this film. So knowing that we had a star-studded cast, the actual, storyline, seeing his adaptation, I want to see what kind of direction, the pacing, just everything down to the music, cinematography, again, worth the wait. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into it. Now, being that this is circa the 1830s, I like how you see towards the beginning the couple played by Lily Rose Depp and Nicholas Hoult. Of course, his name is Thomas, and his wife Ellen. Prior to that, you just see where you start noticing certain things in regards to Ellen's character dealing with certain visions, definitely horrific visions of certain things that have happened or something that had happened to her, and her feeling a certain way about her husband, going off, but he's wanting to build a great setup or a great, life for him and his wife. So his boss, played by, I want to say Simon, was it McBurney, who plays, I want to say Hernock, he sends him out to travel to a client. Your client just so happens to be in Transylvania. Nothing wrong with that. So I like how he's told, if you do this and get this client and all that and set this up so they can have, this, be able to move to this new location and all that, he'll be brought into the fold with other agents and all that, and he'll be a part of the group and all that. So he's of course really willing to, prove himself and all that. So he treks out. Overall, I would say when you see the moment when they eventually meet and he's trying to get the papers, signed and all that, I love their interaction between them, because you can see how at times Count Orlok is very taunting to Thomas. He's very uneasy around him, you know. Then also the simple fact of just seeing Bill Skarsgård playing him. He's not visible in this. The way the makeup is done, you don't recognize him and all that. I love how it was done. I will say this as well in regards to the overall look of Count Orlok. I know some individuals were kind of taken aback because I read a couple of people's reviews in regards to him looking his overall appearance because of the previous films. But I think from what I heard from some other individuals were the fact that from the book of the overall aesthetic for him with the mustache and all that, with and all that's a part of being in the book. So it doesn't kind of veer off too much. So that's fine. I don't know anything about the actual novel. I think it was an 1897, book. But I will say I didn't mind the aesthetic. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as he can bring an overall mesmerizing and light to this particular character and all that, and he just pretty much made it his own. I just can never say enough about Bill Skarsgård. When he's embodying into a particular character, he really brings his 150% to it, and I'm here for it. So, like I said, the overall tension between the two in scenes and all that, certain things start happening, and Thomas not aware of what's happening, and then secondly, his wife giving him a little, you know, jewelry heirloom and all that, something to keep close to him, and he ends up giving it which was not a good thing. That was interesting, watching certain scenes of him, being kind of in somewhat of a trance and, feeling, he's kind of in a situation he's not able to get out of until he's put in a situation where he has no choice but find a way to get out, to get back home to his, his wife. Now, to go and center around Ellen, Lily Rose Depp did an amazing job playing Ellen. I can't say enough because I don't, she is new on my radar. I think she did a short-lived show on cable, and I think I want to say HBO Max and all. I'm not familiar with the title, but I'd heard about that, but it just didn't last, whatever. And I just think since she's up and coming, I definitely wasn't, aware of any of the work or whatever work she's done. But now that she's done this film, I will be definitely keeping track of her work moving forward. Her playing a character who's plagued by these horrific visions and things that have happened to her, just like the scene she had at the beginning with Nicholas Holt's character explaining certain things and all that, and him kind of listening from the side, just unbeknownst of what she's done with. When you see the visions of certain things that have happened to her, it is definitely graphic. And understand her not wanting her husband to go like be here with me and all that, but it is what it is. And being that she's not with her husband, this gives the moment for Count Orlok to use to kind to use his will to kind of get there with her and utilize his presence around her when her husband's not close by, no one's there, to shield someone in ways kind of shield her and feel that she feels safe, whatever, with her husband around. So I like how she does stay with her friends. She's been watched over, I want to say, by whether they go by the names Frederick and when Anna, played by Corinne and Johnson in the film, and they do an amazing job playing the friends, especially Aaron Taylor Johnson. He definitely was really good in this film. First, definitely about his wife, loves his family, but as time goes on in the film, you see certain things start happening, and he feels a certain way, feeling the bond between Ellen and his wife, that brings on certain, events that happen to his own family. With that being said, you definitely get introduced to another character once things start to unravel and Thomas comes back and things have happened, and that's William Defoe's character who plays, I want to say, what is it, Von Franz. I loved Defoe's character at times, definitely someone who is looked upon for having some sort of knowledge. Some people, didn't particularly care for some of the things that he would probably address, discuss in his teachings or whatever and all that. But this one person who reached out to, I want to say, the character played by Johnson and Holt, they realized that he could be of assistance to deal with this, evil that is finding its way, is on its way, coming on a ship, working its way to come and just lay, stamp to what's happening, causing a plague. Things are happening in the town, just a lot. And I will say, in regards to the overall looking of the setup of the story, the cinematography. I want to say it was done by, I want to say Jaron Lashke. I hope I'm saying that last name correctly. My apologies. So beautiful, beautifully done. When you're looking at certain scenes within this one, I notice it's like sweeping, camera shots. You see also when I'm watching it, at times certain scenes with Count Orlok and Ellen and other aspects as well, a lot of uncomfortable close-up scenes within the film, but it gave to the overall look, the overall tone. Also with the music, we had done by, I want to say, Robin Carolyn. I like how certain music and certain scenes gave extra tension. Love that. Definitely creepy at times, not very gory, so you don't have to worry about that. But, aesthetically, in regards to certain parts having certain areas that are bloody, yes. I will say, in regards to also with the nudity, was very, not so much of it, but just, place in the scenes, in the areas that need to be done in particular scenes, and done, very minimum, which is, which I actually liked. But yes, I can't say enough about how good this film is. Definitely horrific, haunting, beautiful. I will say there are a couple of scenes I want to bring up. I love the scene, two in particular, the scene where you see Ellen is given a choice by Count Orlok. She doesn't particularly care for him and what he's doing. She wants no part of this. And he's like, you need to do this, 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 and not, I will hurt, your husband. And she and really knows what she needs to do, even though she's scared, of what type of hold Count Orlok will have over her in this instance, what this could mean if she does this, will this, be a situation will put her truly in harm's way. And I like, how he was very, adamant about that. Also, the scene between Thomas and Orlok when he's trying to get the papers drawn, him speaking to him, or the scene of him, trying to deal with Count Orlok and his demise, while he's, inside his coffin, that whole scene, just overall him showing his presence when he was about to. And I just like how he just stands up and, and Thomas just is looking at him like, oh my God. But the one scene that I really like, and that's when I say how much I really am enamored of Lily Rose and her character Ellen, is a scene of when, of course, Thomas eventually they come back and the character of Frederick tells them they have to go home. You need to go to your own place. Sorry. And they're home, and it's a moment where they're having a discussion, which starts to turn very voices are raised and all that. And Ellen's talking about how Orlok told me about you. And you see how she just starts to just her body language, the way she's coming across to him, and they're going back and forth and all that. Uh, so I love how she just took over that scene. I literally was in that moment was captivated by her because she's just, first, very soft spoken, all that. Then the anger comes into her, and then she's all this body movement, facial expressions. You've seen a little bit of the facial expressions in the trailer, and then in the end, where she makes comments about he couldn't, rise to the occasion, so to speak, in regards to, I'm assuming, in regards to the sexual nature and all that between the two, as opposed to which I won't say, but needless to say Thomas felt like he had to prove himself and just, but I was just like, wow, totally taken back. Definitely a good scene in that moment. But overall, I can't say enough how much I truly enjoyed this film from beginning to end. I know some individuals might say the pacing because it was rather long and at times maybe slow. I didn't mind that at all. Was just taking it all of it in. Like I said, the overall cinematography of the film, the music at times throughout the entire film was so good. The costumes were beautiful, and just like the overall cast, their parts to play. And I just like how even though we're centered around Ellen and Thomas, but I like how the other essential characters in this were as well. Like I said, the friends played by I want to say Corinne and Johnson, and also Defoe. They all lent a part to this film, so it was like the entire cast did their parts, to add to this. And also, not to take away from Simon McBurney, his character being that, he's giving Thomas this opportunity to prove himself and get this client, unbeknownst to him, that this is pretty much honestly a setup, for him to prove his loyalty to Count Orlok. So eventually, when he shows up, he can further prove himself when he's finally here. So I liked the way he played that character as well, and definitely gruesome. When I say a little bit of gore, just a little bit, his character and his scenes definitely graphic, and I truly was here for all of it. So again, enjoy the film. Just I can't say shout out enough to Robert Eggers for this amazing, amazing adaptation. Again, worth the wait. It was done well over a year. Was waiting for the trailer when it finally came out, and I feel like we got a nice little gem here to add to nice little collection, of films. I will definitely like to, definitely have it in my collection, and I look forward to watching again. I almost wanted to go see it at the theater one time before they pull it, but I don't think I'll have the time. So I'm just glad I got to enjoy it, with a nice crowd I might add in there. So with that being said, you guys comment below. Let me know what you think. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next movie review. You guys take care.